type all that in. All right. Well, welcome. We are live on YouTube and Zoom. I love we have the technology that we can do both of these tools. So I may just be checking my YouTube here to make sure that it is working and that we are seeing that come up. But my name is Cindy. For those of you that might be tuning in on YouTube, we've got a couple of new friends tuning in over there today. And so I just am going to take a quick minute to introduce myself. I have been teaching women to feel a little bit more confident every time they walk out the door by helping them to find a personalized routine that works for them, whether it's skincare or it has to do with makeup. I just want people to find what works for them, what fits their style and their lifestyle so that they can truly age with confidence and walk out that door confidently. I also work with a team of women through Mary Kay that I get to really just coach. I'm not a boss. I just get to coach them in doing their own businesses and helping them to provide choices or income for their families as well. So that's a little bit about who I am. And I'm excited to be here tonight to share with you just 5 really simple, fun tips to help you feel a little bit more confident this holiday season. And if you know me at all, if you've been around, I'm kind of all about simple style. I'm not super complex with doing any of my makeup and those types of things. And even my skincare routine is pretty streamlined for what works for my skin. And that's what I share with a lot of my clients as well. So these are going to maybe be some fun little differences that you haven't heard of before, or maybe they're a little bit of a refresh to you. You might see a little bit of both. But first of all, because I feel like I can't do a video without having a little bit of lips on, I am going to highlight for you the value of using a lip liner and putting that on with your lips, whether you use lipstick, a natural color, or even a sheer gloss. The value of a lip liner can make a difference because it gives you definition around the outside. So I'm using the color I'm currently using is called Rose. It really matches the tone of my lips. So, but you can see the definition it starts to give already. And the key is you don't have to draw one long line. I'm doing those short little feathery strokes right along that edge of the lips to be able to get that definition. But you can clearly see the difference. And then I'm going to color in a little bit, like just kind of coloring it in lightly so that if the lipstick does fade, if you've colored it in gently, it will stay and wear a little bit better. And now I'm going to go ahead and put my lipstick on, but you will see the difference in the definition side versus the side that doesn't have that definition. And I pulled out the holiday red for you. And if you know me, this is a little brighter than what I normally wear. But we did talk about the value of finding the right red. And I just talked about that in my Facebook group. So if you're not in there and you want to be in there, I did help you to find the right red for you if you want a little bit of color. But look at the difference in the lip liner versus not. It impacts the color. It impacts the way that my lips look, the definition of them, the edge. It will help the lipstick to wear longer and wear better. So that's a little simple extra. And if you're afraid of lip liner, what I tell people is look for the one that matches your lip tone the most. And then you won't have the line. You won't have to worry about the color. So I did not use a red. I used the one that matched my lip tone. Okay. But you can see the difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't want to see the rest of the video uneven, that will drive me crazy. We're going to go back and color that in on the other side. It'll still look slightly different, but at least it's going to look a little bit more like it did. And I'll just get a little in the middle because why not? That's what I do. Okay. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is the tiniest little thing, but it makes the biggest difference to helping your eyes to look lifted. And I've already done it today, so the demo of this will be a little bit harder. But this one has to do with your mascara. Okay, so normally we put our mascara on. If you want a little volume, we wiggle in at the base to get the volume, and then we comb out and get every little lash, right? But what happens is a lot of times we miss those lashes that are all the way on the end. And that is something that gives a huge difference to creating lift in your eye. And so, like I said, I already had mine on today. I realized I had already done this. So it might make it a little more challenging to see. But by adding a little extra, making sure you're getting those lashes at the very, very end, you can see those tiny little ones I'm pulling out, and adding a little extra volume to the end, it creates, oh yeah, you can still see it, much more of a lift to your lashes and to your eye.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Again, pretty simple, but it makes a big difference to the pop of your eye and helping to create that lift. And so I'm using our new waterproof formula, but any of the straight brushes, the Panorama brush, you can do it with the Ultimate brush as well, but just get those tiny little lashes and add a little bit more volume to them to add that pop. Okay. Then the other fun thing that we're doing for the holidays is adding a little bit of reflection, right? What do we mean by reflection? Moisture will add reflection back to your eyes, or adding a little bit of sheen. So the way that I add reflection to my look right now with the things that we're doing is with our new eye pencils, because they're so easy to just glide on and give a pop of color, right? But they give a pop of reflection. Again, you can see the difference, right? Brightens it up, wakes it up just a little bit. And those are available in 5 different colors. And you can add some volume to them too by adding, or some depth to it, by adding the darker color and then blending out. And they're so easy and so blendable as long as you blend them right away before they dry. And I put the tiniest little smudge on. But again, you've got now a little bit of depth to it by giving a little bit of shadow on that brow bone. Okay. So that part's not too reflective, but a little bit, you know, it still gives that little bit of shape. And then another way to add reflection to your look right now. And these are, even if you don't wear a lot of color, I love how easy these are. These are the new blushes. And again, I already have some on, but we'll just add a little bit more. And I'm putting it on my finger, starting at the back, so that if I get too much color, I'm not trying to rub it off my, you know, right on the apple of my cheek, but then blending that into a little circle. And these have hyaluronic acid in them, which is something your body already makes. But with this, you are getting that boost of hydration, and it's helping to, it acts like a humectant to keep that moisture in. And so it gives you kind of that dewy glow and a little bit of reflection as well, because of the moisture that's in the blush. So it's not a dry powder blush, but gives you a little hint of color. And then a fun tip for the holidays, and I know for the gals that are on the Zoom, I don't know what the gals watch it on YouTube, but I know the gals watch it on Zoom. This is probably a little more than you would normally do with this, but I'll show you anyways. But again, to add reflection and a little bit of fun for the holidays, adding a little bit of that eye pencil on the top of your cheek will add another layer of reflection in there. And it just helps to pop your cheekbone a little bit more. My light's on the other side. I should have done it on this side so you could see it better, but you can see that hint of reflection there. And anything we add reflection to, it will just give it more light and bring it forward for the eye to see a little bit more. Okay. So we've done lips. We've done a little bit with eyes. We've done your reflection to add that for your holiday look. But now we're going to talk about the core of what really matters to all of this looking good is always going to be your skincare. And this time of year with the weather changing, we are really looking at adding moisture back to your skin. So often we might already be wearing a moisturizer, but it maybe isn't enough. And somebody just said, like, she's like, I'm putting another layer on. I'm like, if you're putting another layer on, we probably need to tweak what you're using or add something like the nourishing oil to your moisturizers so that you're getting an additional boost of moisture. This is 100% naturally derived. It goes great with any moisturizer, but that will add to it. And it's not oily or greasy. It literally just blends in, gives a little bit of reflection as well, but it's going to give that hydration to your skin. So that's one option. Or sometimes if the moisturizer you have is working well, but you need still just a little boost, sometimes we need to add something like our Intense Moisture Cream, which is literally like adding water back to your skin. We have it in this formula for dry skin, and we have an oil-free formula in a gel for those people that are more combination to oily, but still need a boost of hydration because water and oil they're not the same. So that can make a difference, though, is ramping up the humectant factor of your moisturizer by adding an additional piece to it to keep that moisture in your skin, or to just decrease it fading away faster. Okay. So moisture was number 4. And then tip number 5 is really, again, evaluating your skincare. Is it time for to add a serum to your routine? So if you're cleansing and you're moisturizing, but you feel like you want a little bit more result from your skin, it's been several years now since I've added our Serum C and E to my routine. It's vitamin C and E, 2 antioxidants that are great for your skin. But when I added this one to my skin, people noticed. People commented, you're doing something different. Your skin has more glow. It looks brighter, and it helps to tighten and tone my skin as well. So sometimes we need to add a boost of that additional age-fighting antioxidants to our routine, that can make that difference and give us a greater glow to our skin. So for a lot of people, the Serum C&E is a great choice. The other one that's just launched, if people have very sensitive skin, if you have redness, excessive dryness, uneven texture on your skin, we also have our new Barrier Restore. Now, really anybody can use it. It's going to help to rebuild the barrier of your skin to keep the good things in and the bad things out. It's also just a lightweight serum, but we have found it for people though that have very sensitive skin, they are finding it soothing and reducing how sensitive their skin might be. Also helping those that have redness on their cheeks. We're seeing a reduction in that redness, and that redness might come from uneven texture and dryness as well. And so that product is another piece that can come in as the serum to make a difference for you. So those are your 5 tips to look your holiday best that aren't super complicated, but can definitely give you a little bit of pop. Add a lip liner to your lips, no matter how neutral they are or how much color you might choose. And you can still see the difference of the lip liner and just the definition of that lip compared to the other side. And so lip liner 2 is making sure to add that volume to the edges of your lashes. Number 3 was adding reflection, whether it's the new eye pencils or those cheek gels that add a hint of color, but really give you some glow with that. And then looking at your hydration, do you need to give a boost to hydration and finding the right solution for that? And there's a special bonus on the oil right now, so we can tell you what that is too. And then your last one is it time to add an additional age-fighting serum to really just tighten, tone, brighten your skin, or to help restore on that barrier? So those are your 5 fun tips. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, you can look on my website, or you can also reach out to me. I love to connect with people individually, virtually. If you're connecting with me through YouTube and things like that, we can do virtual appointments. We also have in-person sessions as options as well. So setting up for the new year to make sure that you're confident moving into 2026 is always one of the things that I love to do. So thanks so much for being here, and reach out, comment below with any questions.